What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action, sporting in the bottom of the map in the red color, playing as Loki. His name is Nullus. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Kronos. His name is Rapl. We have a swapsies here. God swaps. This was unintentional. Both these players playing random gods in this series here. But we are going to be seeing the matchup flipped. What's the percentages on that? I don't know. I don't know what the percentages are on that, but we'll see how this game's going to go. Nullus has been playing a lot of Loki of late. And honestly, his Loki is pretty scary. And technically, this is kind of a Loki fate, like kind of a Loki map in a lot of ways, because Loki gets access to the early double off-civ in order to grab a whole bunch of these goats. And given they move at 4.8 speed compared to the 3.5 speed and low line of sight of Rapl's Kronos oracles, you're going to be in a bit of a tough trouble here. Now, what you do want to do with these oracles is not scout like this. You want to scout manually here if you are a strong player with the APM, because that's going to allow you to find the goats much quicker. You do scout you scout much quicker with that. And we do see that the Scaling has found the giraffe. Beautiful giraffe placement here for both players in this game. It seems actually kind of unfortunate for Nullus. He has to walk all the way through his base, whereas Rapl is right next to his. And we'll see how this is going to go. It's looking like Rapl is just doing a standard build order here. Will he remember his mana? Oh, there he goes. An interesting decision to chuck the mana up with the food villager instead of the gold villager. Rapl shaking things up here. And we do see that the Scaling has actually managed to snipe an oracle here. It looks like it'll be close. 14 HP. If he wants to jump into the mana, he'll be okay, but still very low. And we see the oracle has spotted his giraffe. Still, where's the off-civ here for Nullus? He's moving back to his home base, throwing up his temple. This off-civ here might want to try and scout out the bottom, scout out the back. Make sure he gets up the what does he need? Make sure he gets all the goat that he hit. There is a relic up here, the Wedget Eye, negative 10% myth unit cost. On top of the already discounted myth units that Kronos gets, this relic is actually pretty good. You get an extra 10% off. So what is that? 80 or 70, 73 gold or something for a Promethean, which is dirt cheap, though you are against Loki, so it's not going to matter too much. You definitely don't want to allow the Loki player to grab that one. If we check the map out just a little bit here, we do have the Ankh of Ra here as well, which is a really helpful relic for both players, and neither have actually spotted it just yet. The house is up, and Prometheus is coming through for Rapl, no problems. And Nullus is just going to be taking this nice and slow. Now, the big problem for Rapl here, and this is something that he's not going to be used to as an Odin main, he doesn't have ravens. He's got no idea that there are a giraffe on this side. For him to find these giraffe, he has to first get lucky with the Promethean offsprings, because he's probably going to, I would probably send him straight down here first, because it's closer, and he's going to have a little bit more chance to succeed there. But if he does come this way and hits this, it's just so far away. It's so difficult. He doesn't know what to do. We will be seeing Nullus being able to defend that as well with his Hursa. And there is a very fast advance from Rapl. Did he go? He must have gone for a 4-minute advance, but very late. He must have gone for a 4-minute advance, but very late. Counter barracks, military barracks up. The oracles sitting in the back, looking like he doesn't want to cast Valor on those. Though the difference between Uranos oracles and Kronos oracles, I mean, actually, this is an extended edition. If you're on extended edition, you should actually value your oracles, because with focus, they actually become just as strong as a Momillo, I think. Am I wrong about that? No, they're weaker than a Momillo. So maybe you don't want to use it. I take it all back. Let me just stop talking. See the Promethean scouting around here. Looking for some stuff. We see the Promethean offspring getting shot down as they're just going to retreat out of here. And Nullus just hanging tight. Just going to live the dream on all of these giraffes. It's such a high hunt oasis. And let's just see. This is like 5 giraffe, 5 zebra. Huge amount of hunt. And there is the valor, but he saved it and he got it and he valid Terma. So if you know how I feel, Hero Milo are much, much better than the Hero Terma in this matchup. And generally in every single matchup, you don't want Hero Terma. I actually don't think there is a single matchup you want Hero Terma. You just want Hero Milo. So it is worth it to just hide those away. Now Rapl making his move in. Nullus already over here. We will start seeing some nice engagements here. Good retreat micro from Nullus as we see the Hero Terma targeting down the troll. This Ursa very low does end up getting sniped down. Beautiful play here thus far from Rapl, keeping his Terma alive. Nice micro. We see Nullus on top of that there. We don't have Hall of Thanes just yet as a villager is going to get sniped. Nice play from Rapl yet again, coming over to snipe down the troll, and he does get out of here. 2 Terma loss for 2 Herser, 1 villager, and a troll. If anyone had won that fight, you would say that Rapl came out with a huge advantage, but he does need to be careful about continuing this fight here. And he's pulling back the low HP Murmillo already. He can keep trying to push in here, sniping down villagers. As we do see one little volley there onto that villager, getting pulled back. Nice play from Nullus, staying away from that army, as Nullus is just going to be holding, sitting tight here, and he is going to be choosing to retreating back into his home base here. As do we have those Hersa upgrades yet? No, we do not. More units flooding in here as the Hersa just going to be wandering away. And unlike against Kronos, you can kind of do this without Hall of Thanes, and Hall of Thanes is going to be coming in nonetheless. Now, Rapl just has to remember to keep manas up and make sure that the manas that he has are somewhat in range of the town center so that the Hersa can't take him down for free. We will be seeing the Murmillo chilling on this location, just making sure nothing's going on. Does get a whole bunch of Hero Murmillo here. And now Rapl's got big advantage in this game. He's on the hunt. Nullus is on the goat, but we do have husbandry through, and the goat will help out quite a lot as the Hersa are going to be looking to snipe down some straggler units here. Very smart. If he is going after this, Nullus sees one. Yes, he is. This is exactly what you need to do when you're in this position. In every single matchup, if you're behind and you have the speedy units, go after the straggler units. And we're seeing Nullus coming straight in onto this food here, but honestly, he's just going to garrison, and you're not going to actually be able to do all too much over here. In fact, it looks like the village is just going to retreat back, and maybe even he can shank these a little bit. So we do see the oracles coming in as well. Rapl with lots of units in the, lots of resources in the bank here as the villagers just going to hang inside of here. Got to be careful not to fight this too much if you don't have the advantage, as we are seeing the army retreating back for Rapl. He could simply just retreat back his Hero Murmillo and be completely fine here. We're still seeing some nice micro from Rapl trying to stay alive here as we see the villagers jumping over into the trees here. Nullus managing to make 3 idle citizens happen as the entirety of the army retreating back, and Nullus has got so many more Hersa here as he's going to just retreat away, not wanting to fight just yet. And Rapl might want to consider jumping over onto these herdables here. Getting to the heroic age, super important here for Rapl. You also have a separate win condition with Kronos, which Uranus doesn't have, and that is to get to implode before flaming weapons is cast. And if you can get there, you obviously just implode wherever the flaming weapons occurs, and you can deal with kind of everything. As we see the army of Rapl running straight head first into a whole bunch of Hersa, as Rapl has to retreat back. There's a very big amount of Hersa here for Nullus, and Rapl is scared of this. He's thrown down another military academy. He's actually fallen behind on the population, as it's looking like maybe he was trying to get to the next age, but instead deciding to stay here in the classical age, getting up the extra military barracks. Is he getting himself some Kara Ballista? Yes, he is. These cost only 104 wood, 90 gold. You have to be careful. Don't want to be losing that one, though. He's going to be able to retreat back into his base, turning around, starting to fight this one. Nullus going to be retreating back. Another military barracks coming up for Rapl as the farms are starting. I think Rapl is kind of realizing that maybe Nullus is not going to be able to get to the heroic age, so staying in the classical age is definitely a valid play here. As we see medium upgrades coming in, which will start to make these infantry units of Rapl match the Hursar of Nullus. So he is retreating back here. And here we go. Rapl happy to fight this now. He's got the medium upgrades. We see the Hursar moving around, trying to take down all of those Terma in the back. Have to micro that Karabalsa, but we see an Einhjar spawn here. This is huge for Nullus. Going to boost up his Hursar so much with the mini flaming weapons there. The population is 106 to 110. We see Copper Mail coming through for Rapl as well. A Troll coming in as this fight is continuing here. And it is looking like this fight is incredibly equal. We see the Einhjar getting taken down. The hero Terma managing to take down the Troll, and Nullus decides in that moment to retreat there as Rapl does manage to somehow hold in this position against the Einhjar spawn there, which I thought was going to completely tip the odds into Nullus's favor. And given that Nullus now has Copper Mail as well, I thought that was going to be such a really, really good fight for Nullus, but he did not manage to win. And that is the power of Atlantean. We've seen yet another game of Norse players going for fighting in the classical age. It just doesn't work that well. And Nullus going to keep looking for those raids. We see some walls getting thrown up, copper shields coming through as well. Rapl has definitely got an option here to go after this gold mine, but this wall is absolute genius here from Nullus because it's going to allow him to go onto this gold mine as well. We do see the villagers returning over onto this giraffe over here to finish up all that hunt that he didn't get in the early stages of the game. The Hursar coming over here, going to be hitting some of Rappel's villagers, but he immediately garrisons them. Unfortunate Einhjar spawn here. If it was a Valkyrie, it would have been really big. The Einhjar doesn't help at all in this situation, and we'll just get sniped down. As surely Rapl understands where to now get to the heroic age. Either get to the heroic age for heavy infantry, or get to the mythic age for implode, or for palace with those fanatics. Can be really, really strong. Nullus, on the other hand, has to start throwing down farms. He's got himself a goat here. He's got maybe enough food to advance because he's got a little bit of giraffe here, actually, plus this goat. So he's probably going to be able to get to the heroic age. So it's going to be a little bit later than Rapl will. So this game is still very much in the balance here because we've got a huge power spike possible for Rapl as we see Hyperion coming through for Rapl, which I don't mind. I also don't mind going through Rhea here to simply just steal the battle boar or steal a fire giant. Can feel really good as opposed to the random chance of Hyperion accidentally hitting a troll instead of a fire giant. That's a very real possibility. The villagers moving over onto this town center. Not a bad idea, but he doesn't have the resources for it. And he's got so much wood in the bank. He can just spam out farms here. He's only got a couple of villagers on wood remaining, but just spam those farms out and live the dream. We see the temple coming up for Nullus as Bragi is indeed coming through. Villagers jumping over, or dwarves jumping over onto this gold mine as we see 100 favor for Nullus. He's going to want to spam those battle ball out as best as he can. We do see a full deconstruction there onto that temple, preventing that from happening. Meanwhile, Skraeling over here going to get that gold mine as the Hyperion has come in. Will we see an immediate heavy infantry or not? Nullus does not want to fight here until he's in the heroic age, and we will see immediate heavy infantry from Rapl. Very, very nice play. See the Hursar swinging around here, going to be able to take down that Karabalista very, very fast as the fighting is continuing. As we see flaming weapons, an immediate retreat here from Rapl, as this is actually really, really good for Rapl. He's running. Where are you going? What? Hello? Why are you going? Just run. At least make him work for it. Heavy infantry comes through. Rapl drops down to 75 population. The military starting to come through for Rapl as the Hursar moving in onto this location, going to be able to prevent the town center from coming up. Very nice play. Irrigation coming through for both players as the Satyr just hanging out over here. Yet again, we're seeing more fighting here against those Flaming Weapons Hersers, but it's looking like, for some reason, Nullus deciding not to take the fight. Do we have any armory upgrades for Rapl? He does have Copper Mail here as the Town Center getting taken down. The Herser going after the Citizen. We do see the Citizen trying to retreat back, but one Citizen will be falling here as the Satyr trying to fight back. The Battle Ball coming in onto this position. Another Herser falling as these Murmillo are going to start being very, very helpful here. Rapl is unfortunately 100 population, and the question really is, when do you cast the Chaos? You have to cast it at some point. He still has it. We see the villagers shanking away at these Herser here. There's the there's the Chaos on the Battle Ball, and he's got no HP left. And the Herser moving around here, retreating. There's so many low HP Herser as the Murmillo able to deal with this mountain giant fairly well. The town center for the moment has been denied, and Rapl manages to live another day in a very, very decent position here. Though Nullus has got himself the farm set up, he can just stick everything on gold and try and get to the Mythic age here as well through through Hell, and be in a very, very nice position. You see the mountain giant get that big whack onto the town center. That is absolutely huge here for Nullus to delay that town center, as the Ursa are going to be returning back in onto this position. Still very, very low HP. We've got 9 Ursa here that are incredibly low HP, going to be going after these Citizen yet again, but there are only 5 Citizen here, so can't really pick any of them off with a mana at this point, as we see Nullus getting himself his own second town center. He's going to be pushing further and further ahead in this game, though I think the majority of the advantage right now for Nullus is in myth units, in mythology, so that bonus in resources and score that Nullus has isn't really that real at this point. I would love to see Rapl utilizing some of his time shifting here to make sure that his Citizen doesn't just get picked off by any stray units. Meanwhile, where is he going? So many stray units over here. Don't need that many, as this is where the fight really is. As we see even more myth unit spawns for Nullus. We see, does he have the cheaper upgrade for this? I don't think he does. Heart of Titans or something? Can't remember. But it's 115 pop to 120 pop, and Nullus is just so much economy right now. His economy is really, really good. He's doing his economy much, much better than the average Loki player does. He's got a whole bunch of gatherers on farms here. He's got dwarves on wood, which is actually correct. You don't put dwarves on food. If you have to put them on something that's not gold, you put them on wood. And the town center has still been denied yet again here, as Rapl is mightily struggling to make any ground in this game, as the Battle Ball do get relatively taken out here. And Nullus just going to be retreating back, and I do wonder, is he going through Hell? Does he have a market? He doesn't have a market, so there's the market getting thrown up. And this is an interesting question of decision making. Do you go through Hell, or do you go through Tier? So Tier is going to really hurt the economy and allow you to make a big push through this town center. Hell is going to have you have a Nidhogg plus Fire Giant, which can be really tough to deal with. And he is picking Hell. Hell is so strong. And then the question is, do you get the third town center now before pushing in or not? As he's definitely allowing the town center to come up here. And it's Rapl getting close to the next age as well. He's going to be throwing up his own market. I do still think that the best play here is definitely Atlas and not a Helios. You're going to have to deal with Fire Giant. Getting out those Argus is really, really helpful. And really what Rapl needs at this point is to transition into Fanatics. Dealing with the Nidhogg is very difficult as well. It's kind of like if you don't have Arcus, Arcus Heroes, you can't do anything. So we'll see how it's going to go as Nullus making his way in here. We see Rapl going to go for a bit of a surround or just turn back. And Rapl will be running out of this gold mine fairly soon as Nullus runs out of his own gold mine coming over here. Meanwhile, we see one infantry unit getting the third town center for Nullus as Nullus goes, I'm going after your main base. Let's go. Let's see it happen. See the villagers retreating into this tower, but the special ability actually means he could have taken them out. And he is going to take this fight here. We do see Atlas as the god of choice, as Hell does come in, and we will see an immediate, oh, it's chaos there, but an immediate Nidhogg gets thrown down on this location. Watchtowers needs to come through for Rapl yesterday here, as the Nidhogg is going to do so much damage to these units, but all those Herso do end up falling. Meanwhile, you have some army coming in to take down the town center that Rapl was finally finished. Meanwhile, these and this is again maybe why he should have gone Rhea. Not for the behemoth, not for the upgrades, but simply just for trader. So good. And there is the implode, but where do you use it? Well, sorry, there is the Atlas, and the implode is now available, but where do you use it? You can't really use it over here. Nullus is kind of very, very well spread out here. Rapl with lots of food in the bank. We do see the Argus coming in. Does manage to snipe one of those battle ball, but we're going to start seeing Fire Giant coming in. And the question is 3.2 speed Fire Giant versus 4.51 speed Argus. These are special Argus here. These are Kronos Argus. We don't see them very often. And they're going to be able to chase down that Fire Giant like a crazy person. But unfortunately for Rapl, the Herso are faster even so than the Argus. We do see a fourth town center getting sniped over here as these Herso going after more villagers. Where'd the Nidhogg go? The Nidhogg's now flying overhead against those citizen of Rapl. Nullus is just a little bit too strong here in this game for Rapl to deal with. So the town center gets denied or taken down basically. These Fire Giant over here being very, very strong. The villagers jumping into the town center. The Nidhogg just untouched here. We do see some Arcus though. You know, you might think that Arcus are decent against these Herso. They're not decent against the Herso. The Herso beat the Arcus every single which way. Okay, there's the implode on like half of his own units. Will he be able to suck the Nidhogg in? As if he can't suck the Nidhogg in. What a chip! Is it deal damage to the Nidhogg? What a chip. Maybe it would have been better to go Helios in this position. Take the loss, vortexing on these dwarves. But Rapl does end up tapping out in this game. GG. Well played, Mr. Nullus. Showing off his Loki here. Beautiful play. I think Rapl played this fairly well, but I don't think that this town center was the play. I think you got to get Mythic Age and you got to start building Fnatic against Loki. Nullus has really been showing that maybe Loki isn't as bad as people think, and it really just comes down to some very key decision making and economic management that makes Loki very, very strong. And he's showing it off here in this game. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.